It's fantastic to see you all here. I've just been informed we've got a situation outside that's been described as parking chaos. So we will get started, but I'm sure we'll have more people joining us as we go. My name's Alex Mills. I'm coordinator of the Opening Doors program, and I'll also be your MC for today. I'd like to begin by welcoming you here to the Whitehorse Centre and thank you for joining us in celebrating the achievements of our 2017 graduates. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on here today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respect to their elders past and present, as well as any elders who might be here with us today. I'd also like to acknowledge our special guests here today, Mayor of the City of Whitehorse, Councillor Andrew Davenport, who I believe will be joining us shortly. Very special guest, Susan Carlin, thank you so much for being here. Philip Moran, CEO of Link Health and Community. Felicity Smith, Chair of Link Health and Community. Councillor Bill Bennett from the City of Whitehorse. Councillor Denise Massoud from the City of Whitehorse. Councillor Prue Cutts from the City of Whitehorse. Councillor Sharon Ellis from the City of Whitehorse. Councillor Anna Chen from the City of Manningham. Councillor Mark Ziparopoulos from the City of Manningham. Councillor Dot Haynes from the City of Manningham. Councillor Lynette Salumi from the City of Monash, quite a long list today, and Councillor Rebecca Patterson from the City of Monash. Thank you so much for joining us. Finally, I'd like to recognise all of our partner organisations, community leaders, and all of you for being here today to celebrate the achievements of our graduates. Thank you so much all for your support. A little bit by way of housekeeping, in the unlikely event of an emergency, the assembly points are at the front and at the rear of the building. Toilets are just out in that reception area where you came in, and what I'd really love is after the ceremony is completed for you to stay and join us for some tea and coffee and refreshments, and to have a look at just the incredible project stalls that our participants have set up today. They put so much work into them. Now, as I mentioned, the Mayor is running a little bit late. Apparently he's coming by train, so what we might do is mix things up. He's not here yet? I heard murmurs. No? Okay. So while we wait for Mayor Andrew Davenport, what I might do is jump ahead and introduce our very special keynote speaker for today, Dr. Susan Carland. Now, I'll try to keep this brief, because this could take a while. Susan Carland is an academic, author, and social commentator. She has a PhD from Monash University School of Social Sciences, where she is the director of the Bachelor of Global Studies. Her teaching and research expertise are in gender, sociology, contemporary Australia and the modern Muslim experience. Susan has appeared regularly on ABC TV and SBS, and her book, Fighting Hislam, was published by Melbourne University just this year. Her writing has appeared in countless publications, the list went on forever. And in 2017 she was named one of the Who's Who of Australian Women list, and in Elle magazine as one of 17 women to know and be inspired by. In 2012, she was named one of the 20 most influential Australian female voices list by The Age. She's also been recognised as a Muslim leader of tomorrow by the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations. We're just about out of time, Susan. We might make that. Okay. And very lastly, Susan is an ambassador for UNICEF Australia and also a certified scuba diving instructor, which I didn't know. Just to cap it all off, Susan, thank you so much for coming today.
It is so brilliant to be here. I'm so proud of everyone. Congratulations to the graduates today on your wonderful achievement. You should all be very proud of yourselves, and I'm sure you are, and your families are as well. And we are here today to mark your wonderful leadership achievement. But I think as we do that, it's worth us keeping in mind, what is leadership? Why does it matter? And what does good leadership look like? Because I think we live in a time and in a society where leadership is something that is seen as quite narcissistic and self-serving. So if you're a leader, it's about attention and accolades, maybe having lots of followers on social media, lots of likes and attention. We can start to feel, if we're leaders, that we deserve special treatment, that we should always be up the front, that people should always listen to what we have to say. If we go to a function, we expect that we'll be sitting on the good table, not that rubbish table up the back in the toilets. That the important people in the room will want to shake our hands and get to know us. We don't need to do those insignificant acts like washing the cups in the kitchen anymore. That's somebody else's job. We can also feel that we're immune to criticism, that we're the leader now and everyone else has to listen to us. And while that doesn't really paint a very nice picture, that model of leadership can actually be quite appealing to a lot of people, not just the people who are those leaders, but even the people around them. I'm sure we can all think of certain political leaders today that fit that model, where they are about themselves, they churn through staff, they don't inspire loyalty, they will not listen to criticism. And I think it's really important, if I can give some advice to the graduates today, when you continue on your leadership journey, because I'm sure all of you have been leaders in one way or another before now, and this is just a continuation of your journey. I have lived in the world long enough to know we do not need any more leaders who are in it for themselves. We don't need any more self-serving leaders. What we need are leaders who are there to serve others. So don't be those people. Don't be those leaders. Be the leader who is there to serve others and listen to others. Be the leader who bends really low, who isn't there to stand up straight right up the front. And so I've decided today what I'm going to do, I only have a short amount of time, I think I've got 15 minutes. I want to give you the 7 tips of leadership that I wish I'd had when I started out, when I finished uni and one way or another found myself in a position of leadership, whatever that is. To give you some advice that I think might be beneficial and something that, to be honest, I have to remind myself of these 7 things pretty much every day. The first one is that you are a role model whether you like it or not. And I know a lot of us feel very uncomfortable with that title. I hate it when people tell me that I'm a role model. I'm sure a lot of people here might feel that way themselves if they're described in that way. But whether we like it or not, we are all role models. The only difference between us is if we are a good role model or a bad role model. Because the fact is, people are always looking at us to see how we carry ourselves and how we conduct ourselves. How we speak to the waiter in the restaurant, how we conduct ourselves in that tough media interview, how we deal with our neighbours, how we behave in that busy car park, that car parking chaos out the front. Did we cut someone off and give them the finger? Or did we let someone else go in front of us? Like it or not, we are all role models, particularly for younger people. Younger people are always looking up at all of us. So the only choice we have in this is whether we choose to be a good role model or a bad role model. This is a fact of life. This is the only choice we have in this regard. And to be aware that people will always be looking at us. And the fact of the matter is, if you are here as a leader of a multicultural community or an ethnic community or any other minority community, from the disability community or anything else like that, like it or not, people will expect you to be exceptional. They will expect you to be exceptional to disprove the stereotypes you have. And this isn't just reduced to the Muslim community or ethnic communities. I was at an event for the International Day of People with a Disability just earlier this week, the scope. It's the same for people in the disabled community. That the only way they're seen as acceptable is if they happen to have scaled Mount Everest while in their wheelchair. That they can't just be seen as regular, great citizens just by being regular, great people like everybody else. They pay their bills and they go to work and sometimes they stuff up like all of us. So the reality is though, let me tell you this, if you are from a multicultural community, if you're from an ethnic community, if you're from any minority, people will expect you to be exceptional. And that's not necessarily fair. I don't think that is fair. We should be able to be regular, flawed individuals like everyone else. But the fact of the matter is people are looking at us more closely. The second tip I would give you is never forget the why of what you do. As a leader, never forget why you are doing what you do. So often we get caught up in the how or the what. So we think about what is the product we offer or what is the service we offer. Maybe we think about how we do it. When we get bogged down in the how or the what, we lose our purpose. The why, think about why you signed up for this course in the first place. Why do you want to be a leader in your community? Why are you trying to change things or make things better? Never forget your why. It is your why that will keep you getting out of bed in the morning. It is the why that will inspire the people around you. It is not the what or the how. The what and the how are secondary to the why of what you do. The third tip I would give you is know your core values. Know what is your true north as an individual. And it is so important that you know what these are before crisis hits. You do not want to be trying to work out what it is you really stand for in the middle of a media frenzy or a community crisis or a family crisis. Your core values are like the steering wheel of the ship. And if you don't know what they are, when the storms of crisis come, you will be blown off course. And I can give you an example of this from my own life. For any of you who are unfortunate enough to be on social media, and I say that because social media is a sewer, but I am on social media. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. And on Twitter in particular, I just get a constant barrage of abuse. Constant, daily. From anonymous troll accounts, people abusing me on social media. And what I noticed was it didn't matter what I did to these people. If I engaged them, if I ignored them, if I tried to reason with them, if I tried to respond with humour, if I blocked them, if I muted them, nothing seemed to change it. They just kept coming. And it didn't matter. It's not even that I said anything. It was just that I simply existed. It would encourage the abuse. Really horrendous stuff. Vile, violent, horrible stuff. And I remember sitting at my computer one day thinking, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this in a way that reflects what my values are as a person? Not as a response to their actions, but simply reflects my core values. So I decided that having paid attention to what they did, I realised these people were just putting so much ugliness out into the world. Just hate, constant, it was like this constant darkness. I thought, how can I respond with something better? How can I respond with something good and try to even up that cosmic balance? So I decided for every abusive tweet that I received on Twitter, I would donate $1 to UNICEF. I thought this is a way to balance it out. And this is me living the values that I think are important, and it actually has nothing to do with them. Their behaviour is not directing my behaviour. I didn't want to respond in kind. I didn't want to be sarcastic or abusive like them. So I just decided to do that. And it was never intended to be a campaign or trying to start a movement or anything like that. This was just me trying to live what I thought my values were. But what's interesting is the media found out about it and they started, they wrote some articles. But what was really interesting to me that came from that is I started having strangers get in contact with me and say, I want to support what you do. I will sponsor the next $5 worth of hate tweets or next $50 worth. I had 2 people that I didn't even know donate $1,000 each on my behalf to UNICEF. And this isn't me trying to big note myself at all. What it is trying to show how if we try to live by our core values, it can have a ripple effect. It can positively impact others. So I've sent more than $5,000 to UNICEF now, which on one hand, that's a great amount of money. On the other hand, it shows you about the amount of abuse I get on Twitter. My husband every now and then does say, how much money are we donating to UNICEF? But it was, like I said, it was about me trying to live the values that I thought were important to me without being buffered by the people around me. This leads me to my next point, my 4th point to you, which is that there will always be critics. Now remember I said in the introduction that one of the bad models of leadership is someone who feels they're immune to criticism. The reality is that you will find as you go out in your journey as leaders that there will always be critics. And what I've learned is that there will come a point where you will realise it literally does not matter what you do, someone will criticise you. How you dress, how you don't dress, what you say, what you don't say, if you participate in this activity or not, that someone will be there to criticise you. I realised at one point I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stay at home and do nothing, and then no one will criticise. And then I realised someone will criticise me for that. And when you realise that, it's actually very freeing because you will never be able to keep everybody happy. Now, this doesn't mean we therefore think, look, I guess I just know best in every situation, I'm going to block out everybody else. What I do is I have a small group of people around me whose opinions I really respect and trust, and I will often go to them and say, what do you think about this? Am I on the right path? Do you think this is the right thing to do? And if they say, look, and I need to trust that they'll be honest and say, I think you're doing the wrong thing here, I would listen to them. But everybody else, you need to shut them out. So have voices around you that you respect and you trust, and listen to their advice. Family members, friends, role models, mentors, community leaders, whoever that is, take their advice and ignore everybody else, especially the anonymous trolls on Twitter. My second last point is that there is no luck. There is no luck. And I don't mean this from a theological point of view. What I mean, and this is an important point for two reasons. There is no luck because luck, what we call luck, is really just preparation meets opportunity. This matters for two reasons. Number one, it is your responsibility to be prepared for the opportunities that will come your way. And by doing this course and the other things, this is part of your preparation, but it also means you have to take those opportunities when they come. I can tell you opportunities will come to you that you will think, I don't know if I'm ready for this, I don't know if I'm good enough for this. Take the opportunity. But the second reason this matters is because I think very often we are reluctant to claim that we earned something. So when someone goes, oh, it's amazing that you got that promotion or that position or whatever, you go, oh, I guess I was just lucky. And I know we do it from a good reason. Like I said, we want to be humble, and it is important that we are humble leaders. But it is not arrogant to say, thank you, I worked really hard for that. Thank you, I'm really glad, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. That's not arrogant. There is a difference between humility and being a doormat. It is not either humility or arrogance, or humiliation or arrogance. There is a middle way. The other reason this matters is if we keep saying, oh, I guess I was just lucky, I don't know how I became Prime Minister, it's just luck. When we do that, but again, this is important for people from minority communities. When we dismiss our achievements as luck, we tell the people behind us, there's no way to follow me. It was just luck that I got here. The people behind you are looking to you to be their role models. So say to them, thank you, I worked really hard, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. This is how I did it, because you're creating a model for them to copy. My final point, my seventh point of things to take away, or my tips, I suppose, is that remember to always lift other people up with you. We have enough leaders who slam the door on the face of the people behind them. You've been given this amazing opportunity. I'm sure you'll be given other amazing opportunities in your journeys. Bring people along with you. Don't see the people behind you as a threat. And it's very easy for us to do that, to see these people as maybe they can be better than me and then there won't be enough for me. Have an open-handed, expansive attitude towards your success. There is enough for everybody. I know that there are many remarkable people in this room. I know that you will go on to do remarkable things. If you can just keep those 7 things in mind, and in the end, make sure that you always listen to other people, but most importantly, listen to yourselves. Thank you very much.
So much for those words, Susan. I can't thank you enough for that. There's so much to think about in there, and in a way reaffirming, I think, a lot of what we've covered and explored as a group together this year as well. Thank you. I'm really thrilled now to welcome the Mayor of Whitehorse, Councillor Andrew Davenport, up onto the stage for a few words by way of welcome. Thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the Opening Doors graduation ceremony for 2017. In the spirit of reconciliation, Whitehorse City Council acknowledges the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. So I wanted to welcome a number of guests today. From the City of Whitehorse, Councillor Prue Cutts. Just stand up. Thanks, Councillor Cutts. from the City of Monash, past Mayor, Councillor Rebecca Patterson, welcome. Monash Council, Councillor Lynette Saluni, welcome. Councillor Anna Chen from the City of Monash, welcome. Sorry, Manningham. I'm looking at all the other councillors that are here that I'm introducing as well, because some are on the list, some are not. So also to the City of Manningham, Councillor Dot Haynes. Thank you very much. Councillor Bill Bennett from the City of Whitehorse. And in terms of special guests, to Philip Moran, CEO of Link Health, welcome. And most importantly, because I got an opportunity to hear you speak just prior to me getting up, Dr. Susan Garland, our keynote speaker today, thank you for your contribution that you've made today. I thought that it was a wonderful speech about determining how to be a role model yourself, and also not to forget why you do what you do, and to lift up other people and bring them with you on your journey. I think they're very important lessons, so thank you, Dr. Garland, for sharing that with us today. Now let's give Dr. Garland a round of applause. So, the Whitehorse Council is really pleased to be able to support the Open Doors Community Leadership Program because it aims to build social inclusion. And it covers a number of cities, being Whitehorse, Manningham, Boroondara and Monash. And as I've said previously, a number of councillors are here today to congratulate all of the graduates here today. And the program is 9 years old, and there's been a number of graduates over the time that the program's run that has successfully delivered for the community as a whole, and I congratulate the Open Doors program for doing that. Whitehorse Council does make a significant contribution through our annual community grants, and I understand some similar support has been given by surrounding councils as well. And the reason that we make grants available as council is because we see this particular program linking well with our health and wellbeing plan for council, where we acknowledge that this program helps give community members get a sense of belonging and friendship, learn new skills, and also practice what they've learned in the community as well. So good luck to all of the graduates today, and look forward to seeing you at other Whitehorse community events in the future. Thank you very much.
So much for those words, Mayor Davenport. So, when this program was formed in 2008, the evidence around social isolation was really still coming into focus. We've known for some time now that the impact of social isolation on our health can be compared to smoking a packet of cigarettes a day or consuming 6 standard drinks every day. It affects our physical health and our mental health. New research in the past year has reaffirmed this, but it's told us other things too. There are strong links emerging between social isolation and conspiratorial thinking, for example. The internet has a lot to answer for, as you were saying earlier. In all, social exclusion can have a profound effect on our lifespan and on our quality of life. Now that might not sound like a pretty picture, but there's also the flip side. Repeated studies have shown that on streets where neighbours know each other's names, we see a 40% reduction in crime. Joining a local neighbourhood house or sporting club can be as beneficial for your health as quitting smoking. What all of this shows us is that these issues of inclusion, a sense of belonging, connection with our communities, are actually at the heart of so many of the issues we're currently facing as a society. This is why the work of the leaders we're here today to celebrate is so important. It's not just about good feelings, although there are quite a few of those in the process. It's about our health, and it's ultimately about the kind of society that we all want to live in. Some of our past graduates are in the crowd today. Just get a show of hands of past graduates. Yeah, wow. That's amazing. We'd be here for a long time, I think, if we went through all of their achievements one by one. But I'd like to acknowledge them for the incredible work they continue to do in their communities on a daily basis. We now have more than 190 graduates. They've created more than 100 community projects, which have connected, hard to be precise, but we estimate around 15,000 people with their communities in new and positive ways. These leaders work tirelessly in their communities every day, and it's my absolute privilege to welcome our 2017 graduates into that family. Congratulations to you all. What can I tell you about the group we're here today to celebrate? From their very first day on the opening retreat, the spirit of care and trust this group showed was incredible, and they've carried this with them right throughout the program. From the sharing of traditional cuisine, recipes and dishes, to the endless amount of amazing cakes, most of these memories are about food, aren't they? We did have some incredible food shared in our group this year, there's no doubt. I really need to get onto that gym membership. But we had so much more than that. The diversity of cultures, lived experiences and passions was eclipsed only by the generosity of spirit and unconditional support this group showed one another. A few memories stick out. Towards the end of the program, there was a crisis unfolding in Rakhine State in Burma, and you'll hear more about that later. We have several participants from the Rohingya community. There was a call put out for clothing donations, and at our second last session, the bags, oh my God, the bags. I think we had about 30 all up in carloads, and we can't fit them in. And that was just like that, and there was no question. It was just that instant giving and support, recognising what people in the group needed. Another favourite memory, and this is just one that sticks with me as the group know, we had a joint session at Leadership Victoria. It was the middle afternoon, everyone's needing that sugar hit, and our wonderful participant Victoria got up and led a Sierra Leone dance from her childhood for the entire group, and just seeing the looks on everyone's faces, it was just a wonderful memory for me. There are so many memories of participants lending their gifts and skills to support each other's projects. In a way, not 21 leaders working on their own projects, everyone working together, I think. And there was that time that we met the Premier of Victoria this year. That was pretty okay too, I think. As many of us reflected at our final session, we've become a family. It's impossible to convey the sense of connection in this group, but I know it was an experience that will likely stay with all of us forever. This is a truly remarkable group of leaders, and I don't think any of us want this journey we've been on together to end, but we are here, so congratulations to all of you on everything you've achieved this year. Now, before we commence the formal part of the ceremony, can I ask Link Health and Community CEO Philip Moran and the Mayor up onto the stage? And do we have a Jeffrey Lamb in the audience by any chance? Is he here? There he is. I'd just like to acknowledge Jeff. Jeff has been volunteering for us half a day a week this year, helping to support our alumni activities. We have 190 graduates now. They've really started to mobilise with a huge range of social events and workshops, and none of that could have been possible without Jeff. So from all of us, I'd just like to say thank you. Congratulations.
Can I just start by saying, before we go any further, I've got to apologise for not having a jacket on today. I raced out of the house this morning and I forgot it, so scruffy.
When I saw you come in, I thought, do we just pull the plug on this whole thing? We'll soldier on.
I'll try. I'm really embarrassed.
It's wonderful to have you with us, Bill, even if you are jacketless. Thank you. And congratulations to you again, Jeff. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Now, as we commence the formal part of the ceremony, I'd also like to invite Susan up onto the stage for photos, and Felicity Smith, the Chair of Link Health and Community. Would you like to join us as well? Thank you so much. Oh, there you go. We're all jacketless now. Excellent. I'm also really thrilled now to invite Sally Ann Natch up onto the stage from Link Health and Community, who will be reading out and telling us a bit about this year's graduates and their projects. Thank you so much, Sally.
Hello everyone, and thank you for all of the warmness in the room that you've already shown. I hope you can continue it because we've got a few graduates here that I'm sure that you'll be very excited to hear more about. So, without further ado, and I'll try to keep my emotions in check because every year I do this, I go, oh! So I'm trying not to do that. Our first graduate is Shek Moi Ko. Shek's project is Cooking Buddies, a cooking group for all abilities promoting healthy eating, new skills, independence, friendship and understanding. The program will also provide respite to those in full-time carer roles. Shek's reflection is, from total strangers to buddies within 6 months, I will treasure the many golden memories we've created together. Amina Katoon. Supporting and connecting women who might be isolated in my community, helping women to become familiar with their new home, and helping with communication and English language barriers, building strength and resilience. Amina will be sharing more about her project following this part of the ceremony, and Amina's reflection is, my favourite memory of opening doors was every time we were together. Everyone was loving, empowering and inspiring. I'm proud of the confidence I've grown in myself, and I'm proud of the strength I see growing in my community. Etta. Buddy is working together with Amina on the Rohingya Women's Group. Buggy's reflection is, opening doors help me to develop skills, to empower others and to make a positive change in people's lives. I've been proud to start volunteering with Red Cross and to receive the 2017 Volunteering Victoria Award for Inclusion through my work with Enliven. Shima Abuki. Connecting generations. My project will connect people in our community of different generations. People will share experiences, stories and observations which will be captured in a book. This will reflect friendships and encourage people to reflect on what defines them and how they can learn from others. Shima's reflection is, opening doors has been such a rich experience for me. It has connected me with some wonderful and generous people who are doing amazing things for others. The program has redefined the meaning of leadership to one that is more inclusive, considerate and kind. I have a better understanding of what I can do and how I should do it. Mei Lu. The objective of my project is to provide fun and relaxing workshops in flower arrangement for unpaid carers. This project aims to provide an opportunity for carers to recharge energy and develop individual interests through appreciation of nature's beauty. May's reflection. I think the Opening Doors program can provide an excellent platform to guide participants to explore available resources to achieve their goals towards a more inclusive society. I'm proud of the workshops I have run for my carers group this year and look forward to 2018. Layla Chowdhury, Bangladeshi Senior Citizens Club of Victoria. This new association will connect senior citizens from Melbourne's diverse Bangladeshi community. We'll be launching with a barbecue for our members in February 2018. Layla's reflection. When I joined Opening Doors, I had no clue that I could really do something for my community and Australia. But after 6 months in this course with so many different people, I'm on my way to fulfilling my dream of having a home for my community. Thank you, Alex and Link Health, for giving me this opportunity. I'm proud to launch this new association. Layla, how many members do you already have? 40 already. And you haven't even launched. Fantastic. Julia Wang, Active Carers. A carers group covering the areas of Whitehorse and Manningham, supporting those in carer roles to stay active, connected and healthy. Julia's reflection. 2 achievements I've developed through the Opening Doors program. Broadened my vision and realised the true value of our carers group, and this has become my driving passions for doing things better. Asata Victoria Mandu, African Australian Mothers Group Clayton. Connecting mothers of preschools and young children with each other and the broader community. Women's empowerment always has a positive multiplier effect on families, communities and society. This project provides a space for women, especially mothers, to meet and discuss issues for positive empowerment in an informal setting. Victoria's Reflection. It has been a great pleasure and even more an honour being a part of the Opening Doors program. It has been an honour because there was one of the very rare opportunities to meet a lot of people who do not only come from diverse backgrounds, but who have another very important quality, the passion to make Australia's society a better place while giving every member of the society equal opportunities. Let's use our passion, don't look at me Alex, values and inspiration to lead as we follow the principles of Opening Doors program. This is why I have Suleiman Lansana Mandoum. Suleiman is working together with Victoria on the African Mothers Group. And Suleiman's Reflection. The Opening Doors program has given me a first-hand opportunity to meet and interact with people from so many different backgrounds. I've learned skills for bringing people together and understanding our different cultures. Creative Arts with Chinese Seniors. Arts activities to engage, stimulate and unlock the creativity of Chinese seniors, to celebrate individuality and enjoy the fun process in a socially secure setting. Connie's Reflection, Faith in Waiting. This will be my third year in attending an Opening Doors graduation ceremony. Worth waiting? A fruitful, enjoyable and memorable program to journey and celebrate the richness of fellowship and diverse strengths with fellow great door openers. I've learned to focus on people's strengths and passions and the power of sharing stories. Lourdes Sanchez, the Impact Box. The Impact Box is a social enterprise that helps organisations and communities to reduce their plastic waste. Out of 162 applicants, Impact Box was chosen to be one of the 17 finalist teams to be part of the Generator, an incubator and accelerator program for innovative startups at Monash University. Lourdes' Reflection. Opening Doors has given me the confidence to embrace myself as a leader. I've learned to be above the line in difficult moments and keep working hard to make the Impact Box a reality. Alex and my lovely colleagues have offered me an environment for personal growth, and I've been inspired by their energy, enthusiasm and commitment to help others. You have become part of my family, and I'll always be grateful for this opportunity. You will be in my heart always. Samina Alam. Connect Bangladesh, a platform to make connections among the Bangladeshi community members and connect the community to Australian culture. This will come in the form of a dedicated resource which can be distributed both online and in printed form. Samina's Reflection. Opening Doors has changed my perspective of what it means to be a leader. I no longer think of them as rigid characters who need to know all the answers, very similar to what Susan was talking about. It is okay for leaders to be flexible, vulnerable and soft-spoken. I've learned I have far more positive qualities than negatives. For the longest time I fixated only on my negatives, which I admit seemed endless. But one of the most powerful learnings from Opening Doors was discovering I have a lot more positive qualities than I allowed myself to see. Faria Habaz, Manukau Muslim Mums Youth Connect Group. Establish regular social recreation and sporting meetups to allow a sense of belonging and connection, creating links to other events, activities and organisations. Faria will be sharing more about her project following this part of the ceremony. Faria's Reflection. Being part of Opening Doors has opened my eyes to an amazing group of new friends. I have no idea that there are so many talented people sacrificing their time for the community, all to help such a diverse group. It is an honour to graduate together. Our journey as graduates of 2017 has only just begun. I've been proud to increase the network of the Manukau Muslim Mums Youth Connect Group, always welcoming newly arrived families in the area. Debbie Lee. Beyond a Mum. Creating a safe and supportive space for mums to develop greater clarity, confidence and connection with each other and who they are beyond a mum. Debbie's reflection. My journey with Opening Doors has been truly rewarding. I'm grateful for the friendships, support and extended network I've gained. I'm proud of establishing the Beyond a Mum project. Caroline van der Singel, Trans Family, Australian Family Stories of Love, a new book for families who are supporting a trans or gender diverse family member. The book will be written by family members who attend the Trans Family Support Group, enabling them to share their stories and support others in the process. Caroline will be sharing more about her story after this part of the ceremony. Caroline's reflection. I am in awe of my fellow graduates. There are so many wonderful people initiating projects for the betterment of our community. This course has changed my outlook on life, reminding us to look for assets in our community, not deficits. I'm grateful for all the skills I have learned along the way. Anne Grant, Cup and Company, a volunteer program to connect people who may be experiencing social isolation in Ashwood and Chadstone. We will discover people's passions, listen to their stories, link them in with the community assets, and have a cuppa along the way. Anne's reflection. I found the Opening Doors program very rewarding and a process of huge personal growth for me. I'm proud of my contributions as a volunteer to the Power Neighbourhood House. Rosie Jeans. My project is a short, witty film about how some people can act when they meet someone with a disability for the first time. This film is to help change people's lives, change people's often naive perspective on disability. Rosie's also going to be sharing after this part of the ceremony. Rosie's reflection. Opening Doors has been fantastic. It is really wonderful to meet so many lovely, like-minded people who are so creative and inspiring. I've made some lifelong friendships and important networks that will help to open doors for me in the future. I'm proud of advocating for disability and changing negative views. Daweed Mahamadi, the Etrat Community Centre, a new community centre for the Afghan and Hazara communities of Melbourne South East, a dedicated space where my community can connect, learn, respond to issues and access services. Development of the centre will begin in 2018. Daweed's reflection. I really enjoyed learning and connecting with friends during the training sessions. I've developed leadership skills to act confidently as a community leader and made new networks across cultures and communities. Mohammed Yunus. Is Mohammed? He's not here. Oh, Shokaful, he's going to come up to accept. Great. Unfortunately, Mohammed can't be here with us today accepting his certificate is Shokaful, who has worked closely with Mohammed. Mohammed's project is the Rohingya Soccer Club, bringing our Rohingyan community together through soccer training and social events. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Alex and everyone who has come with us on this leadership program. We've had so much fun. I've learned how to manage my soccer club and I'm so thankful to everyone. Even though I'm not here today, we have to give him a massive round of applause because he's being filmed. For Mohammed too. Sandra Sundstrom, the Ability Wanderers, an inclusive social group for people with a disability, their families and friends. Our vision is to become a community hub on acreage land with dwellings, running workshops and organic farming, woodworking and more. Sandra's reflection. I'm so grateful for all the amazing people I've had the pleasure of meeting. We came as strangers and are leaving as family. This experience will stay with me all my life. Opening Doors has opened our hearts. Thank you. Lisa Saris, 2017 Opening Doors Yearbook, a collaboration of our journey. A yearbook that will be presented to all graduates of the 2017 program. It will reflect on our experiences, our stories and achievements. It will also be used to promote and celebrate the Opening Doors program. Lisa's reflection: Opening Doors has provided me with experiences that you will never find in a textbook. It has laid the foundations for the future. My favourite memory was that of the retreat and how the guidance of Alex and Gail when we arrived as strangers and left as though we'd been friends a lifetime. My fellow One Pots was a journey we have shared and will continue to share. You are an amazing, dynamic and talented group. I'm blessed to have seen the growth of your projects. However, it is the bounce in your step, the smiles on your faces and the heads held higher and the passion in your hearts that I will remember always. And that's all of our graduates for 2017. They'd all like to come to the stage now, or no, after. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Sally, and congratulations again to all of you graduating today. We come to now what is, in many ways, my favourite part of the ceremony, because we get to hear from some of our leaders who are going to talk about their projects. This was a really wonderful democratic process with our group this year. They decided who they'd like to speak. And so we'll be hearing briefly from 4 of our graduates about some of their stories and their projects. First off, I'm thrilled to welcome Rosie Cheese up onto the stage. Just while Rosie makes her way up, if anyone was wondering what the One Pot reference was, Victoria shared a story at the opening retreat about back in Sierra Leone. A One Pot dinner was where everyone would just bring whatever they had in the house, chuck it all in a pot, cook it all up, and the whole community would eat. And we sort of realised that's a little bit like us, with all of these different strengths and talents going in. So anyway, I'll pass over to you now, Rosie, and
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rosie Cheese, and my project for Opening Doors is going to be a short film. I'm hoping to make this film funny, but also eye-opening. I have had a disability my whole life. When I was 5, I thought everyone who had a disability had the same exact disability as me. So, I'd see someone with one leg and be like, oh, spina bifida, right? Yeah. And it wasn't really a problem. But then I got a little older, maybe about 8, and I realised there were other disabilities in the world. And just like everyone else who grows up to believe that people with disabilities are scary and undesirable and are worth pitying because of what they've seen in the media, I believed it too. You see, when I was young, I walked with walking sticks everywhere, so I believed that I was too disabled to be an able-bodied because I wasn't like my able-bodied friends. But to my friends in wheelchairs, I was too able-bodied to be disabled because I could walk. And it was a really hard time for me and my self-worth. My journey to better self-worth was a slow one, but eventually I made some like-minded friends who helped me see that I am just like everybody else and that I'm not someone to be stared at or to be pitied, and neither is anyone else with a disability. I learnt to be an advocate for myself and realised that my disability doesn't matter and therefore it shouldn't matter to anybody else. I learnt about the social model of disability that says that disability is caused by the way society is organised rather than by the person's impairment or difference. It looks at the ways of removing barriers that restrict life choices for disabled people. For example, the person in the wheelchair can't get into the venue because the owners haven't made the ramp for access into the building, and not because they're disabled so they can't get upstairs. Too bad for them. I've learned that some people don't like the word disabled. They think it's a dirty word, but I don't. To me, it is what I have, and that doesn't mean that it has to stop me doing anything that I want to do. Yes, I still have hard times, but then so does everybody else in the world, and that's okay. So why not make light of the hard times by making a short, funny film? This is how I can maybe help make change and help change others' perceptions on disability and have something positive in the media. This film is going to be targeting people who have never met someone with a disability before, or people who mean well but are not thinking about what they say before they say it. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody or insult anyone. This is just how I see the world as a person with a disability. So I have got together a bunch of like-minded people to help me make this funny short film where we have had lots of fun working out different skits that will make people laugh and also send out the message of disabled people and people too. I would like to thank so much to everyone in the group who have been really supportive and who have never made me feel disabled to do anything I set my mind to. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Rosie. We were remarking as we came up that I've never actually seen a lectern like this before, and this is a great example of exactly what Rosie was talking about. Thank you so much. I'm really thrilled now to welcome our next speaker up onto the stage, which is Fariha Hafiz. Please make her feel welcome. Good to go. Okay. Excellent. No worries.
Just waiting on the rest.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, friends and family. My name is Fariha Hafiz, and today I would like to share with you some of my memories of growing up in the city of Manningham. It was 1983 and I was 9 years old, and our house here in Templestowe was under construction. Every week I travelled with my father from Thomastown to Templestowe to see how the house was coming along. It was such an exciting time. My dreams was to live in a double-storey house, and my sister and I couldn't wait to slide down those stairs, as you do as a child. And then it was so exciting to go driving up and down those hilly roads of Templestowe. It was like an adventurous roller coaster ride. There were apple orchards all around Templestowe. If some of you know where the Pines Shopping Centre is, that was all apple orchards when we shifted there. For me, it was a green, magical, hilly wonderland. With a crisp new uniform and shiny shoes, I started my first day at Serple Primary School, ready to make new friends. My first few months of school there were a blur. My uniform dress was longer than everyone else's because, being a Muslim, we have to dress modestly. And then, what was I told by a lot of the people? You're just wearing it because your legs are so black and hairy. I was regularly called a chocolate milkshake because I was the only dark-skinned child in the whole of Serple at the time. I wore henna on my hands, which my mum so lovingly used to apply. And the kids used to ask me, why do you have poo on your hands? These days, henna is seen as a beautiful norm and artwork that all cultures are embracing, but not in 1983. Basically, my dreams of shifting here to Templestowe and Manningham were shattered. I secretly cried every day and didn't want to go to school, too afraid and embarrassed to tell anyone why. Unfortunately, this racial and cultural bullying continued into my junior years of high school, with arms being scratched and hair being pulled. Even now, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares of those children picking on me. Let's forward 20 years. I got married, and now my 3 children are growing up in the city of Manningham, and they have just arrived from school, skipping their last couple of hours to hear from me. I studied to become an embryologist, I made test tube babies, and I presented in medical conferences. Despite my busy career, I regularly organised picnics and get-togethers for Muslim mums and children in the Manningham area. I started organising these events for my own children so that they can have fun and mums can relax and catch up. Little did I realise that at the same time, somehow, unofficially, I became the person for advice to Muslim mums in the Manningham area. I feel privileged that I am able to somehow assist someone with simple questions such as, where is the halal butcher in Doncaster? To something as personal as, where should I get my pap smear in Doncaster? The mums regularly ask me, when is the next get-together? As a result, I have established the Manningham United Muslim Mums and Youth Group, and I have created a network that feels a sense of belonging. I look forward to formalising this by having regular get-togethers and social catch-ups. And at the moment, I manage a WhatsApp group of mums that has about 40 mums and about 60 kids, and getting people together is very easy for me. There is no doubt that we do look different, eat differently and dress differently as Muslims. But I want my dear Muslim sisters and our youth to integrate, to not feel isolated, and to enjoy the beauty and amazing facilities that Manningham has to offer. I will say that I have had the most successful life as I am able to contribute to someone to feel more comfortable in their skin. I want my children, their friends and their family to have a life filled of joy, peace and happiness, and most importantly, to have memories that they will cherish instead of the nightmares that I have. Just last weekend, I had 40 people at my house for a potluck to help integrate a new family into our area. Our home was full of fun, food and laughter. Many stories were shared, and our network is forever increasing and always welcoming, no matter what the background. I am truly overwhelmed with pride at how we have evolved to become a much more culturally accepting society, and feel lucky that my children are growing up in a future that is filled with love and acceptance, and I hope that I can contribute to a small part of that. Alex encouraged me to share some news with you. I was invited this week by Manningham Council to be part of a Celebrating Powerful Stories campaign. So I'm going to be sharing my stories, and my daughter and I will be hopefully little celebrities sharing our stories. Our biggest concern is hair and makeup. Well, her hair and my makeup. So we're really looking forward to that, and hopefully something positive will be coming out of that. It's going to be shared on the International Women's Day and all over social media. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Opening Doors and Alex and Sally for accepting me in this course, and to allow to my team for electing me to share this story with you today. And in conclusion, I want to dedicate my graduation of this course to my beautiful mum, who has made me into the strong and vibrant person that I am today, and she's here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Fariha, and welcome as well to those of you who just arrived. I'm thrilled to welcome our next speaker up onto the stage now, Carolyn van der Singel, who's going to tell a little bit of her story and transform. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, special guests, families, friends, and Opening Doors graduates past and present. My name's Carolyn. My project is the second part of the Opening Doors project, Trans Family, that came out of the 2013 Opening Doors program, started by Lynn and Sally, who are here today in the audience. Lynn and Sally met through Opening Doors in 2013. Lynn's experience was of a mother whose adult child transitioned many years ago. During the transition time, Lynn looked for a peer support group, and the only one she discovered was in Sydney, which was useless because she lives in Melbourne. Lynn ended up writing a book about her experience. While her daughter was transitioning, she was supported by various groups and friends in the trans community, but Lynn and her family did not have this type of support. And when she met Sally, who has been involved with the LGBTIQ community for 19 years, is also the treasurer of Transgender Victoria. She's a social and human rights advocate, a media spokesperson. She's co-host of the radio program Out of the Pan on Radio 3CR. The stars aligned, and together they teamed up to form the peer support group called Trans Family, and it's been providing a safe space for families ever since. When I first met Lynn and Sally, it was a month after my son came out to me. I put trans in the Google machine, and well, there was just so much information. It was overwhelming. So much of it was negative about the statistics of trans people committing suicide, depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. It was hard to see a positive future. As a family, we sought psychological advice early on to make sense of what was happening and all of the confusing emotions we felt, and they put us in touch with Trans Family. I made contact with Lynn, and she invited me to the next support group meeting. I spent nearly the whole meeting in tears, and I can remember feeling such relief that I could talk with other families who understood what we as a family were going through. It was incredibly helpful. I felt so socially isolated at the time, as it was very difficult to talk to friends and family, as we were struggling to come to terms with it ourselves. Plus, we were trying to support our transitioning son, who was going through so much more than what we were. In March 2016, I took over the facilitator role, sharing with Sally, and we have run some workshops. We've had various guest speakers. Trans Family is still going strong. The group is growing, and at our last meeting we had 22 people attending. Trans Family is such a valuable group for families, and it's making an impact in our community. For families to be able to share their stories in a safe, non-judgmental and caring space, plus receive information. For example, a few meetings ago we had an endocrinologist come and talk to us about hormone treatment. Supporting and accepting your loved one becomes easier when you have understanding and knowledge, and you know you're not alone. Sally mentioned to me that she's always taken by the families who come to Trans Family for the first time, and they're so quiet. I don't think I was ever quiet, so. But when it's their turn to speak, there's often a huge rush of tears and then relief that I can definitely relate to. The connection and support makes such a difference to the families, which in turn allows them to support their loved one. So I'd like to tell you about my project. My project for Opening Doors is a book project titled Trans Family, Australian Family Stories of Love. It'll be written by these families that come to our support group. When I was looking for information online, I found that a lot of books are American-based, and whilst they provide some context, they lack the connection with Australian culture. They don't highlight what issues the trans and gender diverse community face in Australia, and they don't provide the resources that are available here. It is my hope that families who are on the start of their journey with their loved one can read this book, feel they're not alone, and be comforted by other family stories. I also hope that the book raises awareness about trans family and connects people to our support group, as connection is what Opening Doors is all about. Sally told me that, and it's true. I'm here for the families, as Sally and Lynn were here for me when my family didn't know what to do. The vision that the two of you created together through Opening Doors is still going, and I hope will only continue to support many families in years to come. And I would like to say a big thank you to Alex and Opening Doors for this wonderful opportunity, and my fellow graduates, One Pot, for supporting and encouraging me through this course and bringing out the best in me. Congratulations to all of you with your wonderful projects. I know you'll make all your communities stronger. I would like to acknowledge and thank Lynn and Sally for supporting me, especially in my work at Trans Family, and always being there for guidance. Special mention to Chris, who can't be here today. We met really early on at Trans Family, and we've got really similar stories, and we've been a great support to each other along the way. I would like to thank my family, my husband, my other son and my mum who are here today for always being there and supporting me. And lastly, I'd like to thank my son, who has taught me more about life than anybody else, and he showed me the real meaning of unconditional love. My love for you is the reason I'm doing this. Always be yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn, for sharing that and your story. And it's extra special to have Sally and Lynn here in the room with us today, who started this project so many years ago. A quick round of applause for them. Thank you so much. And now it's time for our final speaker for the day. I'm really thrilled to invite Amina Khatun up onto the stage, who will be sharing a bit about her project and also talking more broadly about some of the situations facing the Rohingya community at the moment. Thank you so much, Amina.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amina. I would like to talk about the Rohingya community and their experience in Myanmar and Australia, and a little bit about Opening Doors program, including a little bit about my project so far. Myanmar history, Rohingya community has been persecuted for a long time. As you can see as a slide, I put a few more important things when the persecution started happening there. Rohingya people are stateless. They are not recognized as anywhere. They not belong to anywhere. The Myanmar government are saying, you not belong here. So where should we belong to? Where Rohingya people are coming from? Rohingya people are coming from the used to be called Burma, but now it changed to Myanmar. In Myanmar, there is a state which is called Rakhine State. They mostly Rohingya people from there. Rohingya people are facing lots of many issues in Myanmar, including no education opportunity in Myanmar for Rohingya people. No children can go to school for study. No medical access for the families or anyone are sick. No treatment there. Women having children without no medical treatment. In last few months, the situation in Myanmar has been very difficult for Rohingya people. Burning houses, more than 500 villages has been burned. While families who are inside the house, they are burned the house, including the families, all of them. And everyone were killed in the burning villages. So finally, that's why they want to rescue from that persecution. They can save their lives. That's why they want to try into crossing into Bangladesh, neighboring country. In Bangladesh, thousands of people are currently living in extremely poor conditions. On the way to Bangladesh, they have to travel so many days from jungle, from the river, without no food, without water. So many people were dying from leaking the boat. They have to cross river with the boat, so they leaking the boat and they dip into the river. So many people were died from there. And as you can see in Bangladesh, how Rohingya people are living there, extremely poor condition in the tent, no clean water, no proper food for them, no clothing for them. So as you can see, they are waiting for the water, clean water, to put it in the pot and take it home and able to give it to the children. Still don't know where we belong to, where we can settle. See, for example, if anyone, for the parents, if some children crying for food, if you cannot give it to children, how will you feel? Children are crying for water. If you cannot give it the water, how will you feel? Now what's happening now is started since 2012. Is big heartbreak and violence started. At least 500,000 Rohingya people fled to Bangladesh. And they are thinking that they will be safe in Bangladesh. Still, Bangladesh government say this is not your country. You cannot cross into our country because you not belong to us. And Myanmar government say you not belong to us. Where we belong to? As you can see, this is a little map where all of the Rohingya people are settled and crossed into. Lots of people have to flee because of we lost our own identity. We cannot say we belong to Myanmar because they are not recognizing us as a citizen. We lost our own identity, so we don't know anything. We don't have anything to say to them. We don't have any power. When people journey to Australia, people arriving by boat because they don't belong anywhere. They are desperate situation. People go through a very long journey as they generally should travel to Malaysia, then to Indonesia, then to Australia. Sometimes people spend a long time in immigration detention as well. There is no stability for families as they have to keep moving. When people reach Australia, they feel that they can call Australia home. They now have lots of opportunities. Children can go to school and people have access to education. They have access to doctors and hospitals. They have the support of authorities such as the police and don't have to fear them anymore. Australia provides hope for families. While there is hope, families and the Rohingya community still also face some challenge here. Their visa situation is one of the biggest concerns for the community. They are in an uncertain situation where no one knows what's going to happen after the 3 years or 5 years visa that families have at the moment. Families have to move regionally to either work or study because of visa conditions. There are communication barriers due to language, with many people being literate in their own language. It is challenging and difficult sometimes to understand, navigate Australian system and the law. An example, people back home get married at very young age, under 16, while in Australia it is illegal to marry underage. There are many factors that make settlement in Australia challenging, but that is why I wanted to participate in a program like Opening Doors. Through my involvement in Opening Doors, I have been able to start a Rohingya support group. The support group will provide a safe space for families and open for women to come and seek advice. The group has already been providing practical support, such as organizing a lawyer to come and help families fill out citizenship application for their children who are born in Australia. I have also been trying to support the community accessing service and navigating some of the systems, such as Centrelink, by assisting in filling in forms and answering questions they may have. I have been involved in helping educate the community about the laws in Australia and how to be safe. Also, through speaking with different organizations in my local area, I have been able to bring service together to further support the community and provide some resources that can help the Rohingya community as a whole. A little about my journey. As I came to Australia as a refugee with my family, I understand the difficulties and challenging families experience when they are trying to settle in a new country. My family moved to Queensland, and after I got married, I moved to Victoria with my parents and my siblings. While in Queensland, I had the opportunity to study and become qualified interpreter. This provided me with a stable income and able to support my family. The Opening Doors program has provided me with another opportunity. I have had the chance to build my leadership skill, my confidence. I have built networks, and most importantly, the ability to advocate for my community. Thank you, Link Health and Community, the Opening Doors program. I would also like to thank the Springville Neighborhood House, who is providing our community, providing the space. And also, we never go back without anything from Opening Door, from Springville Neighborhood House door. If we have a problem, we will go to Springville Neighborhood House, and they never say, we cannot help you. They will definitely help us. Thank you very much, Melanie. I would like to thank Springville Rice Primary School, who is helping us for the English class and children play groups and gardening sort of things. Also, Southeast Community Links for supporting me and my community, my journey through this program. I want to be a role model for my children, for the community, and for other women, and want to give hope to families, especially those who are feeling isolated and or excluded. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elena, and Congratulations. And thank you to all of you for sharing what in many instances were quite personal stories with the crowd. That really means a lot. I'm thrilled now to invite Phil Moran up onto the stage. There he is. Jacketless and all. No. I'm really thrilled to introduce Phil, who's just going to say a few words by way of closing, and also, very importantly, thank the sponsors of our program. Please make him welcome.
Thanks, Alex. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people and the Kulin Nation, and their elders past, present and future, and acknowledge any elders that may be here this afternoon. Could I also welcome Felicity Smith, who's here. She was incorrectly announced as our chairperson. In fact, she stood down on Tuesday as our chair and is now just a board member, but a board member of some 17 years standing, involved in Link for the last 30 years. So thank you, Felicity. Yeah, exactly. That's all right. Can I also acknowledge Anne Crawford, who has just been appointed as our new Deputy Chair or Vice Chair. We're not quite sure which one we're heading with that one, but it's she's here as well. And can I also acknowledge Susie Chen, who's here as well as one of our board members. Wait, Susie's good to see you. Who's also one of our board members. I'm proud. I've been the CEO of Link Health and Community for nearly 3 years now, and I've got to say, I'm so proud of this organisation and I love it so much. There is not a day that passes when I don't feel honoured to be the CEO of this organisation. This week I've had the honour of being able to be at our opening of our site in Traralgon and our site in Druin, where we're running early childhood, early intervention programs for the National Disability Insurance Scheme. This is just a wonderful program that we're actually involved with, where we see every child with a learning delay and work with the families to try and ensure that that child can do the best that they possibly can in life. It's that sort of program that is at the heart of what we actually do as an organisation. And I think that the Opening Doors program highlights what we actually are as well. We've showcased some great projects today, and they are about our community and what we actually do in our community. And we've seen this program go from strength to strength every year. And I've got to say that it's for no small part because of the leadership of Alex that he's actually shown. So congratulations, Alex. Team of people so ably led by Carmel Fox, Carmel Wade, over there, and Sally over there. If you didn't notice, she was the one that nudged me just before and told me that I had to get ready to give a speech. One of the things that I really enjoy, and we as an organisation are going on a journey, an increasing journey of discussing our values and what they actually stand for and reflecting upon those. And that'll culminate into a day in February where we have an all-staff discussion about our values and how we can actually embody those much more closely into everything that we actually do. So we want to look for values that we can measure, values that we can actually put into our position descriptions, into the way we behave with each other, and look for that constant congruence between the sets of values that we actually have and the organisation that we are and that we want to be. Our values are clear at the present moment, and I don't actually think these values will change. I think what they'll do is be more refined, and we'll be looking to see how we can actually measure these values. But I think they are really great values. And the first one is we care. We care for each other, we care for our community, and we care for our clients. And how can we not see that the Opening Doors program does that very thing? By being able to bring people together of such a diverse background and bring them together in discussion. And that leads us to the second one of our values. We listen. We listen to each other and we listen to our community. And we think that's a really important step in what we actually do. Again, the Opening Doors program is about listening to each other, listening to other people, sharing stories and sharing understandings which expand what we actually are as individuals. And I think that's an incredibly successful part of Opening Doors. We're accessible. Now, this is not just about our locations. The idea isn't that we just spread ourselves around, but it's looking at different platforms for being able to do it. And it's the idea of looking at need and looking at how we provide services to be able to respond to those needs. And again, Opening Doors embodies that by being open to this broad community across a larger area, across a big region. And finally, the last of our current values is that we partner. Well, what do I have to say about that? We as an organisation do that every day. If we don't do it through partnering with ourselves, but we also partner with a whole range of organisations in the community. And that goes from our funders, and I'd always like to say that we have a business relationship with our funders. We don't have a friendly relationship, it's a business relationship. We have a relationship with our community, but we partner with organisations, our fellow community health services, the health, acute sector facilities in Eastern Health and Monash Health, and a whole range of other organisations to bring about a positive change in our community. And we do that, I think, in a very successful way when we actually try and partner. Some organisations partner because they want to exploit that partnership. I would like to think that we never exploit the partnerships that we actually form. Our purpose for the partnerships is in fact to advance the community. Now some people might also ask, why is it that the community health services is involved in a program like Opening Doors? It doesn't on the surface would say it has little to do with health, but it has something to do with the most important part of health, and what we as community health actually sits at the centre of what we actually do. We are an organisation that should be focused on health promotion and health prevention, early intervention and early identification of issues. And the Opening Doors program, by being a program around social inclusion, epitomises those approaches that community health should have as its very core. We're not there to slice and dice. We're not there to stitch and bitch. We're actually there to actually make a difference in terms of being able to have social inclusion at its heart. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do that in a program like this if we didn't partner. And it's our co-sponsors that actually make a difference in relation to this program. So it is the municipalities of Boroondara, Manningham, Whitehorse and Monash. It's the Inner East PCP, Primary Care Partnership. It's the Access Health and Community, one of the other community health services that actually operates in there. And it's the Rotary Club of Oakley that provide the funds for this program to flourish and develop and do the things that it actually does. So can I say thank you to those organisations for the work that they've put in and the assistance that they've given to us. So having said those few words, and I'm late, I will now sit down and say thank you very much to everyone, to the participants. I hope you've had a great time, and clearly you have. I'm certain you'll make a big difference in your own communities, and I hope that you remember these days with Opening Doors with fondness. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Phil. I don't think I've ever heard anyone describe community health as stitch and bitch before. I've got to be honest. But thank you so much. I'd also like to acknowledge our funders. Without you, there would be no Opening Doors program, and the generosity and spirit of support is just incredible. Thank you so much. The last thank you I'd like to make for today is we've had, as some of you might notice, an entire team of Link Health and Community volunteers and staff running around, setting things up, supporting. They've been absolutely incredible. So can we have a huge round of applause for them? I'd love for you all now to stay and join us, have some afternoon tea. We've got tea and coffee and some finger food. Please have a look at the incredible project stalls from our participants you can see around the edges of this room. And the last thing I'd ask you to do just quickly is if you just stay seated while we ask the group up onto the stage for their group photo. And you guys can all get your snaps as well. So thank you so much. Congratulations to our graduates.